All right, the DP podcast. This is the Dark Podcast. Everything within the darkness shines within the light. And when you gaze into the abyss gazes back into you. Okay, so mortals, titans, primordials, deities, apparitions, phenomenons, gods and goddesses, and primordials. All right, so mortals, once again, the reason why they believe they have a soul is because they have core circulatory points that are known as chakras within what they believe to be called Eastern spirituality, and they have meridian points and acupuncture points that, although they are artificial, they can be possessed by an actual spirit and a false, fake, artificial, synthetic spirit. So yeah, mortals can be possessed by true spirits, real organic spirits, which is why some of them, if they somehow are rewarded with the ability to be acknowledged by the Almighty, the true Almighty God, which is us, which we are the ancestors that they would be connecting with, they would be able to be possessed by one that isn't, that isn't incarnated already with a vessel, which is pretty rare because they have to have a pure mind and vessel, which is what they refer to as a body, in order for that to even be considered. And their spirits also would have to be, their synthetic spirits would also have to be very much cleansed and pure to the past the extent of which they're even aware of, in some cases, or that they're willing to, cleanse and purify and heal, because they have a lot of trauma and, well, what they believe to be called trauma, and a lot of shit going on within them that they don't want to deal with. So it's very rare, and it's nearly not impossible, but just there's not a lot of cases in which that would even be considered. Like Bruce Lee, he probably would have been closer to, as a martial artist, to even attaining what would be referred to as a true spiritual, like the essence of a true spirit, the essence of the true God, like, or the presence of of a true God. I mean, the presence of the Almighty God within him, the essence of the Almighty God within him, his cores, his chakras, than any other mortal, because he didn't believe, or he didn't present himself to believe, at least, that he had biases that were basically corrupting his mind, his spirits, his vessel, his temple. Yeah. So in order for you to even be considered to be acknowledged by the Almighty God, you would have to do an extensive amount of cleansing and detoxing and healing in order for that to even be considered as immortal. But for the gods, that's not the case. You could just do whatever it is that you could just be and exist, and simply it would just be and exist. And as long as you're willing, there is no such thing as destroying the connection between you and your ancestors, because you are the reincarnation of your ancestors once again, which is why you have spirits within you and not one spirit. Like mortals, they have, because they're synthetic and they're not the original, okay, the organic spirits, that which are known as the Almighty God, they have 8 spirits, but they don't have spirits. So they don't even have spirits unless, for whatever reason, that they somehow mutated to be capable of withstanding more than one kind of spirits within them, which doesn't usually occur for them to, I mean, they don't even withstand it when they're possessed by fallen spirits and spirit guides that are also, including the artificial and synthetic ones that are just roaming around, because they have no connection with the Almighty God. They're just roaming around, possessing shit, hijacking, manipulating, being destructive, chaos agents, true chaos agents. Now, those are the ones where you will see them that they're like very hostile. They'll be quote unquote racist, or supremacist, or like, you know, all types of shit, just which is just the spirit of jealousy and envy and greed and, you know, rage and wrath. They're just they're just ripping through their asses for real. Like, that shit ain't fucking funny though. Like, and Bruce Lee, he most likely knew this, which is why he also made a lot of videos referencing how he knew that the true gods and goddesses and the true originators and creators of the martial arts that he practices are dark skinned. They have a dark skin tone, and they had what mortals refer to as woolly hair, really woolly, curly, you know, crowns, actually, is what he would have probably put it as. And that's why he talked the way he did. He moved the way he did, because even though he knew he wasn't a god or a goddess, he did everything he could to reflect and kind of, you know, imitate or just like mirror that which is the true Almighty God. And he knew it, because that's the reason why he acknowledged his teachers as the originators and creators of the martial arts that he practices, by also including, well, never discriminating against the true gods of that created the martial arts, that he gods and goddesses that created the martial arts that he practiced, which is why his teacher, he mentioned his senseis were dark skinned, and they had woolly, what mortals refer to as woolly curly crowns. And he went, and whenever he wanted to study martial arts, he would allow them to show him the way, because he knew that he was no better than they were. And to him it was true, but it most likely in reality and in all truth he wasn't. He was just very well known, because unlike other mortals, he was, and I mean, unlike the gods and goddesses, he was acknowledged for practicing a martial arts he didn't create, because he was not one of the gods and goddesses. He was like, the media wanted to portray him as the face, and he knew that, which is why he used the media to enlighten others into seeing that he was not a punk faker. He wasn't trying to, he wasn't fugazi. He was not a snake. He was not trying to backdoor anyone. He was just being, he just wanted to emulate, emulate the essence of that which is the true spirit of the Almighty Gods, because there is more than one. Now, this series, or I mean, these recent episodes, referring to, like this one, about the Titans, Primordials, gods and goddesses, mortals, immortals, etc. I'm not going into what the Almighty God is. So, if it's like unclear as to what it is exactly that the Almighty God is, and like how, so that you can recognize it within others and yourself, don't worry about it. I'm not even gonna go into it, which is why you might be like, well, okay, you kind of brought them up if you view the Almighty God and the Almighty Gods as them, that is, but you didn't really, but you're probably like, you didn't even really explain what it is. Like, you kind of just, yeah. So I'm not trying to. So that's why it's like, it's not clear and it's not direct, and I'm not being straightforward about it or anything, because I wasn't trying to. I'm not going to. So not right now. But anyways, this is why, and when it comes down to the apparitions and phenomenons that attempt to possess these mortals that are ignorant, because the only reason why Bruce Lee was able to mention these things, he wasn't ignorant to apparitions and phenomenons. They were not able to possess him and try to utilize him in the same, and I mean, as easily as other mortals that they would probably body jump through, or try to what mortals refer to as MK Ultra, which is mind control and other shit like that, because they're unprotected, so their minds are unshielded, they're unguarded and and unshielded, unprotected, and unguarded, yeah, and as well as their spirits and their vessels, which leaves them open to these phenomenons, which it's gonna be basically mentioned in these episodes. soon.